Now that we've all agreed, in fact, come to the realization that the Constitution of Nigeria is a monster tormenting everybody, is the mechanism by which now that we've all agreed, in fact, come to the realization that the Constitution of Nigeria is a monster tormenting everybody, is the mechanism by which those who are, prevailing, those who declare themselves masters over the rest as slaves, the caliphate, it is by the virtue of that constitution, it is by the instrumentality of that constitution that they are prevailing. It is by the instrumentality of that constitution that the killings are being enabled in the manner we've seen. The infrastructure that has failed, the opportunities that are unequal, the corruption that is growing, the impunity that is mounting. It is that constitution that enabled everything. It is also that constitution that has enabled those who are invading us in an ethnic cleansing operation from the northern flank of the country, from the caliphate belt, from the Sharia belt, to get as far as they have gotten. And if nothing stops them, of course, they are going to have their way. They are heading to the Atlantic waterfront to dip their Quran. Let nobody miss the point. But it's not a jihad it's not just a jihad in the manner we always thought. It is a jihad, with an inner core of ethnic content. Otherwise, explain to me why the Muslims in Zamfara and environs are being killed. They are being killed because they are not Fulani. It is the Fulani that is wearing that garment of jihad to be able to attract ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all the other things in between to levy this fight in which they are wiping off the owners of Nigeria to bring in Fulani from all over Africa to become the new owner. So Nigeria will remain a country of the country of Fulani people. Demographics are being changed. We saw Pantami being put in charge of our database. We saw the governor in Bauchi reminding us that Fulani from everywhere belong to Nigeria. And we saw when the borders were thrown open by the president, Buhari, of Fulani extraction. So while all these are going on, we are asking, people are asking, what then should we do? We're inviting them to see what is being done. We're not just scratching our head. We saw it coming from afar, and we set out a mechanism by which we can, get ahead of them, contain the situation. That mechanism revolves around removing extinguishing the source of their power, which is that constitution. Unfortunately for them, has our signature on the document as the authors of our own damnation. Now, we're not just pointing at the constitution, from afar to say, oh, it is the problem. No, we have deployed a mechanism, a strategy to take down the constitution. That strategy involves all of us. If we want to get away from, if we want to extricate ourselves from the union of death, from the danger we're caught in this war that is undeclared, but is raging everywhere. Killings, expropriation, intimidation, molestation, all kinds of things, just to, like an army that is overrunning a territory. That's what we are in. But it's being done in the name of the federal government of Nigeria, in the name of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in the name of the armed forces of Nigeria. Now, many have been asking, yes, the constitution, we agree, is the problem. What then do we do to solve it? What then do we do to take it down, like you always recommend? This broadcast is to explain just that, and for our people to get to see the urgency of the actions that need to be taken. We will explain the action and they will see the urgency. Because if we do not act quickly enough, the enemy that is drawing power and authority from that constitution will continue on its onslaught against us, tying our hands to the back, because that constitution is the reason we can't touch guns to defend ourselves. That constitution is the reason they can criminalize anything we do in self-defense, even as we see them coming upon us. Ask the people in Southern Kaduna what they've been going through. Ask the people in Jos area what they've been going through. We are seeing, we're seeing it in other parts of the country. Now they've declared a military operation to bring it even closer to the rest of it. It is that undeclared war that is going on, but it's been the pretext is that it's a question of enforcement of law and order by government. No. What we need to do, which have been done almost 80%, is to take down that constitution in the manner that can put a time frame that prevents them from going past where they are now. Elections are the mechanism for sustaining the life of the constitution. Because we have repudiated that constitution, the international community is waiting for us to, those who are in a position to help us, and I'm talking about the UN Security Council, I'm talking about the US government that is at war with the ISIS that is in joint venture with the caliphate in Nigeria, with the federal government of Nigeria of today. It is in refusing to go to any further elections. It may look so simple because we've not asked you to go and buy a rocket launcher, but that is what holds the key right now. The caliphate has no other chance to succeed in what they set out to do. Even with all the guns in their hands, they have no chance at all if that constitution is taken down today. It is within our reach to take down that constitution by simply refusing to go to another election under it. If we make the mistake of going to election of 2023, they will continue in the pretense that we have a democracy, before the whole world, and we will be the ones validating it. Just because we are proceeding to an election at a time under that constitution, at a time we have repudiated that constitution, at a time we already know that that constitution is the reason things are with us the way they are, is the reason we are being killed. And so we will be addressing all of those who agree with us that that constitution is bad. The church, the bar association, the labor movement, all of those who come out, the political parties that say they will do it one way or the other better than the other people, all of those who now agree with us that that constitution is the problem. But they go again to say they want to go to election. They're asking people to go and get PVC. In an election that will be conducted by that enemy, in an election in which the PVC will be competing with the AK-47 that is controlled exclusively by that enemy, INEC is under the exclusive control of that enemy. So they will be the one to conduct that election. And whoever wins, of all the political parties, whoever wins will have to swear to and govern by that constitution. All of the 36 states we are rejecting, all of the 68 items exclusive list, everything we are complaining about will remain in place. And so, if we do not listen now and wake up to, put our faith to work, to put action behind what we are saying, then we'll be deceiving ourselves. Anybody who agrees that this constitution is the source of all our misery, but who is inviting anybody or other people to come to election, particularly the church, because in no time now you will begin to hear them preach, go and get your PVC. Get PVC for what? Anybody who is asking you to go and get PVC, ask him by what constitution will the winner govern? How will it change anything? We have also seen that the National Assembly, that many people are thinking, well, let my party win, let us go to National Assembly and change everything. The National Assembly's mandate does not extend to constitution making. Anybody who is telling you that National Assembly is going to restructure, and this address also go to all of those who are campaigning about for restructuring. Those who say, oh, the lawyers that go to TV all the time, we want new constitution. We are asking you now, we are asking everybody to ask you, what exactly has to be done to bring about this new constitutional arrangement? Who has to do it? When will it happen? We have a chance to do it now before the enemy, riding on the back of that constitution, overruns us. But you are asking us to slow down and go and prepare for another election while the enemy is drawing power every day and continue in his conquest mission. You are the one leading people to death. All of you who say let's go to another election under this constitution, because even if the person you want wins, the structures in place ensure and guarantee that they can't do anything. So why are you inviting people to that which will empower the enemy that's already drawing power from that constitution and running on a mission to conquer, on a conquest mission across? That's what's going on everywhere. They are just, because that title deed has been defeated by our collective action through the last 22 years, they now have to reestablish control and ownership by conquest. And everything they need to succeed in that attempt to conquer the balance of Nigeria is to keep the constitution alive just another season, small time, small period. And we who are in that danger of being exterminated can stop them by saying now, not tomorrow, inside 2021, in the last quarter that began on the 1st of October, between now and 31st of December, if all of us who are in this danger can stand up and tell those who are dragging us to that election, the political parties, the churches, the lawyers, all of those who are asking us to come with them to election, if we can say to them, no, the constitution has to be, the question of the constitution has to be addressed, the question of the union has to be addressed, that's the end of the game. The constitution will go down. So the mechanism, the strategy for taking down that constitution, for those who have been asking that question, what exactly do we have to do? We are informing you now that inside 2021, we're not talking about boycott, and we're not talking about state elections and other off-season municipal elections, local elections. No, we're talking about targeting the 2023 electoral round in terms of the preparations for it at this time, because this is the time they are now beginning to do all kinds of things. You saw the PDP going about who will be chairman in the north or who will be president in the south. No, that does not lead us anywhere other than to Golgotha, other than to death. We must all rise up now, all of those who are in that danger. You cannot say you repudiate this constitution. You cannot say you agree with us that the constitution is we reject the constitution, and then you'll be going towards another election under that constitution. You are deceiving yourself. You are working for the enemy. Because the day after the election, those who won will be sworn in to defend and uphold that constitution. So they already leave the rest of you outside in the rain. Then they will go for their benefit. So whether it is the church that campaign for them, private jet will come to the overseer, and the senator will go home with a salary of 50-60 million every month. The governor will go get a monthly allocation of 5 billion, 6 billion. How does that solve the problem? That's where they're going. And that's the reason they're not listening to us. They're encouraging you to go and get PVC in a battle of AK-47. Controlled 100% by the enemy you want to go and defeat through that election. We've seen it happen in 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019. What has changed? Even when the Southern Obasanjo and Southern Jonathan became president, what were they able to change? And so this is now a make or mar situation. If we choose to block our ears and be foolish and go towards the election like they're inviting us to come, we are only equipping the enemy to overrun us. But if we can wake up now and tell those who are inviting us to that to the journey to election to say no, this constitution is the basis of that election. We have repudiated it. We will not go to another election on it. If we do that, I can guarantee us on behalf of Ninas that in less than 1 month from the time we become serious, the journey will terminate. That constitution will be dead. Because the reason we are rejecting election, let us get the connection. The reason we are rejecting election is because the constitution by which the winner will govern already compromised our safety, already ruins us without redemption. So if election is halted, if the preparation, if the journey to election is halted inside 2021, we have the balance of 2022 and half of 2023 to go into the transition and the referendum to resolve our sovereignty questions, the union dispute. Any other thing we are doing, any other thing we choose to do, will only facilitate the enemy, facilitate the onslaught, facilitate the conquest that the enemy is prosecuting, standing on the authority of that constitution to criminalize you, to tie your hands to the back. Tell those who are telling you any other thing outside what I'm telling you now. Ask them, whether they are your community leaders or your church leaders or their lawyers, whoever they are, opinion leaders. Ask them the direct question of what is their proposition, what plan do they have to terminate the life of this constitution. And we are telling you right now what has to be done. We reject the journey to election, not boycott. We are talking about shutdown. Political parties must now be compelled to close shop, because it is in the business they do of going to contest election under that constitution that constitution has been kept alive for 22 years. We saw the lawyer that came from the US the other day questioning aloud why we have allowed. He says it's absurd. He says it's surprised that this constitution has been allowed to remain afloat for 22 years. If we want to live, if we want our lives, if we want our sovereignty, if we want our peace in our spaces, we must now shut down the journey to 2023 in our spaces, so that constitution will die in that space. We cannot pretend we want an end to our misery, and we are preparing for whatever reason, whatever anybody tells you is the reason why they have to go and go and do one more election. Tell the person we said that it is a lie. Tell them we say it's a pretense. Tell them we say they are criminals deceiving other people, because they know that nothing will change even if they win. But we have seen we saw the governors of the Caliphate North the other day gather in the name of Northern whatever, saying to the rest of us that they are not going to allow any of you to take power from them. That if power gets to any one of you, that they fear they will be expelled from the union. They know what they are doing. They know what they are saying. And so when they invite you to come to election with them, it is because they want to lure you to sustain that constitution so that they can continue drawing power from it to carry on with their conquest mission. That's all they're doing. And so anybody who is telling you to come, let us go and win them, we see people like Kingsley Moghalu. He is now talking about how constitution will change. I'm asking Kingsley Moghalu, at what point will that constitution change? How will he control the election that will be managed by the people who are trying to sustain the constitution? What is he going to do? Is it the National Assembly? Does he know that the National Assembly cannot do what has to be done? Or by what mechanism? So we're saying, who will do what, when? Let that be the question on your mouth, on your lips, for everyone inviting you to come to this election. At what point will this constitution be terminated? Otherwise, you leave the tap on and you are being invited to come and mop, while death is the certain outcome if the tap is not turned off. The source of this killing is that constitution. We are in a position to extinguish it. Elections 2023 hold the key right now. If we are stupid enough to go to submit ourselves to it, we are only endorsing the killing happening to us and more things that will happen to us. But if we want the alternative, if we want the opposite, if we want to be alive and well in our space, in peace, then we must reject the journey to the election. We are prepared to engage in private, whoever has any further questions. The church leaders, the ones whose flock is the target of these killings, the political leaders, the community leaders, the lawyers who are going about pointing in all kinds of directions, these are the things we must confront them with at this time. What is their strategy for turning off the tap from where these evils are flowing? Because we say we can end this trauma inside 2021. We don't have to wait for 2023. Because if we go beyond 2021 in the journey to 2023, the people who are already drawing power from it will continue their killings and taking over the lands, and we will just submitting ourselves to enslavement and extermination. That's what it is. So let us play the card we can play now. I guarantee you, if we all get sensible, get knowledge of what the situation, the battlefield is, and the motives on the two sides, the strategies on the two sides, the mechanisms on the two sides. If we can get the knowledge of it and apply it right now, that constitution will be dead inside 2021. We'll be going to transition. We already communicated to the UN Security Council. Discussions are taking place as we speak in high places across the globe on this subject matter. Let nobody deceive you. And so if we now owe it a duty of faith, if we owe it a duty to accept, to demonstrate that we have rejected that constitution imposed by this enemy that is now killing us off. Nothing less. If we do not do it, we are only saying, come kill the rest of us, we are happy with it. But I don't think that's what the majority is saying. It's only the few who are looking out for what the crumbs they will get if elections go on. Those are the only ones who are inviting you to come towards election. The NGOs, the ones that say, oh, free and fair election. Under which constitution? These are criminals. Challenge them. I think we are living here.